Shaman. Oh, what's going on with Shaman? All right, so we have our first iteration of the 1007 PTR dev note. I'm going to breeze through this because it's quite a bit. Mostly we're probably interested in class changes, since that's pretty much most of what we do here. Although with a quick shout out that monks can now be Lightforged Draenei, Worgens, and Goblins, which is really cool. Lightforged Draenei and Worgen monk NPCs have made their homes in Storm, and Goblin monk NPCs can be found in Kazan, Bridgewater Cartel, and the Goblin monk NPC now sells Sage Advice in Orgrimmar. Ha! Sells Sage Advice. How Goblin? Perfect. Now for the class changes. For the Unholy Death Knight, Epidemic has swapped places with Unholy Blight within the talent tree. Now, to get a sense of this is Epidemic. I think Epidemic was there, right? Yes, Epidemic was there. Okay, so this is an accurate depiction, which I understand that a lot of Unholy Decays are happy about. Personally, I think this is what I want to do. I know that Unholy has been playing loosely with Epidemic. Either you want to take it or you don't want to take it. I always liked taking Epidemic, and now that it's a little bit more accessible, I guess that's pretty good. Pestilence implementation has been updated to better reflect the functionality of the tooltip. Pestilence, death and decay damage has a 10% chance to apply. Yes, this has been an issue for years. Glad they're addressing it. Rotten Touch duration increased to 10 seconds from 6 seconds. Buff, nice. Runic Mastery now also increases Runic Corruption's rune regeneration rate by an additional 10 to 20%. Increases the maximum runic power and increases the rune regeneration rate of... Yes, so no more downtime. Commander of the Dead has been updated to always buff your nearby Gargoyle or Dark Arbiter and Army of the Dead ghouls for 30 seconds after using Dark Transformation. So the previous implementation of Commander of the Dead had too many edge cases where it would not always buff your minions, or the window was too tight and created less than ideal rotational impact. We have instead updated to an aura around the Death Knight, nice, for the duration that will always buff their Gargoyle or Army of the Dead ghoul regardless of when they were spawned in after Dark Transformation was used. This is good. So it's kind of like a dynamic buff check. It's probably just checking if you have pets active and it applies the buff or the aura instead of just checking this once when it was supposed to pop, I would imagine. So that's great. There are additional changes for Unholy Death Knights coming in the future 1007 PTR builds that aim to address some quality of life concerns and underperforming talents. Yes, oh my god. And they're doing this for a really good spec. It's just way more hope. Druid, Protector of the Pack, can now store up to 400% of the Druid spell power for Balance, Feral, and Guardian, and 300% spell power for Resto. Was 240 for all specializations. Okay, are they cracking down a little bit on Restoration Druid's oppressive power? New talent, Tranquil Mind. Increase the Omen of Clarity's chance to activate Clear Casting to 5%, and Clear Casting can stack one additional time. I guess this is good, obviously. You kind of want those regrowth procs. New talent, Deep Focus. When Moonfire, Rake, Rip, or Rejuvenation are active on a single target, their effects are increased by 40%. Isn't this Draught of Deep Focus the legendary that we had in Shadowlands? Single target resto damage, baby, let's go! Embrace of the Dream now also triggers on targets with a regrowth heal over time effect. Wild Growth has a 50% chance to momentarily shift your mind into the Emerald Dream, instantly healing all allies affected by a rejuve or regrowth. I think it was only with rejuvenation, now it's also regrowth. Alright. Regenerated Heartwood now also extends the duration of Iron Bark by 4 seconds. Ooh. Well, allies protected by your Iron Bark also receive more healing from each of your active rejuvenation, and yes, the duration wasn't increased, but Iron Bark is really good. Now you have a whole bunch of ways to improve your Iron Bark talent. This is really cool. I'll get to it in a second as to why. Improved Wild Growth. Wait, I skipped one. Natural Wisdom is now a baseline effect on Innervate for Restoration Druids. Yes! This is kind of like the Power Infusion thing. No longer increases mana regeneration by 5%, and the additional Innervate's effectiveness have been reduced to 50%, was 100%. So Natural Wisdom should be you get some benefits of regrowth. So if you cast Innervate on somebody else, you gain its effect at 100% effectiveness, and you have a passive mana regen of 5%. This is really good. It has been nerfed though. Like, I'm not 100% familiar with mana management for Resto Druids. Obviously, we have our Resto Druids in our raid, and they kind of want mana as with every healer, but I feel like their mana has been nerfed. I'm assuming Preservation will probably receive a similar treatment. We'll see. Improved Wild Growth has been moved to a new location. Cultivation has moved to improved Wild Growth's previous location. Nourish has been moved. Tranquil Mind occupies. Okay, so a bunch of talent swaps. The Forest Flow Wild Synergies, no Choice Notes has moved to a new location. Okay, these locations are can either be good or bad depending on how the builds are set up. And although sometimes they can seem good or sometimes they can seem bad, we will only know until we can actually test them in proper content, proper live content, since we've had challenge changes before in the past where, let's say, people's sake was a little bit, let's say, skewed on how good they are. So they could, I would assume that they're more good than bad, because that's how these changes seem to be lately, which is amazing. An amazing time to play WoW. Embrace of the Dream and Budding Leaves have swap locations, choice node, move locations, choice node. Okay. Okay, Power of the Archdruid is now a choice node with Undergrowth, and Circle of Life and Death is not a choice node with Deep Focus, so that's a damage. Okay, so there are going to be choice nodes here with Undergrowth, as opposed to Undergrowth being there, and... oh, it's right here. Oh, it was a different type of choice node. Okay. I'm assuming this is to balance playstyles and performance. Let's go to Evoker. Oh boy, I'm scared. Drakthir's racial ability, chosen identity, will now also cause Drakthir to automatically assume their visage form when they resurrect. Yes, because this was not happening. Drakthir now know the aerial halt ability, like dragon riding drakes, that allow them to significantly reduce their forward movement. Okay. I assume this is also an ability that's come into the game. Draconic Legacy now increases stamina by 3. Yes, buff to stamina, thank you. Fachi of Life has been redesigned. Renewing Blaze now restores you more quickly, causing damage you take to be healed back over 4 seconds. Okay, I suppose this requires some practice. There are situations where Renewing Blaze seems like it's taking too long to heal you back. Those are super extreme situations and very high keys that I've recently found out about. And I don't know if in those keys you would want Fachi of Life or Fochi of Life, or however you pronounce it, as opposed to the other one that reduces Renewing Blaze cooldown to 1 minute. So I don't know if this is going to do it. But this is a very specific talent that only probably a few people will be able to take advantage of it. Ancient Flame has been redesigned. Casting Emerald Blossom or Verdant Embrace reduces the cast time of your next living flame by 40%. Well, they're going to cast Verdant Embrace, but the way the playstyle is with Preservation right now, you're hardly ever casting Emerald Blossom anyway, so maybe next season we'll see how good this is. Ancient Flame has been moved to Roar of Exhilaration's location in the Talent Tree. Roar of Exhilaration has been removed. Wait a minute. Is that the Enrage Dispel? Wait, what do you mean? This successfully interrupting... Yeah, okay, yeah, nobody uses this. So instead, we have Ancient Flame, casting Emerald Blossom, and Ancient Flame here. Healing yourself with Living Flame reduces the cast time. Oh, okay, so the proc chance has been swapped. Yeah, you're never using Living Flame to heal yourself. Living Flame heal is poop. It's very poop. Rather reduce the cast time. Sure, the Tirsa gives you instant procs of Living Flame, so these are all very whatever. Devastation, healing for Verdant Embrace has been increased. That's good for self-sustain. So I don't know if that makes the spec tankier though. I don't know if this is enough to keep Devastation into the game. Monks, Mistweaver, Thunder Focus now causes developing mist to become instant cast in addition to its current effect. Ooh, this is a nice change. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, how much I've played with Thunder Focus and Enveloping Mist. This can be so good. All right, moving to Paladin. Protection. Faith in the Light block chance increased to 30% from... Oh boy, are we going to trash Pro Paladin again? 15% block chance. Okay, this is the new... All right. I'm not... It's fine. It's obviously better. Focused Enmity has been redesigned. When a Veggie Shield strikes a single enemy, it deals additional holy damage. Okay. Corrected a tooltip error with Light of the Titan. Okay. Reds. A major rework for Red Paladin is underway and more changes will be coming. Okay, we don't know anything new about Reds. For Priest, Discipline, an issue has been fixed, so the expiation to deal more damage than intended. Okay. Shaman. Oh, what's going on with Shaman? Earth Elemental and Primal Earth Elemental no longer taunts or pulls threat to enemies the Shaman is not in combat with. Okay. Earth Elemental and Primal Elemental no longer taunts or pulls threat to enemies that are attacking a player with a tank specialization. Okay. Well, that means you cannot use Earth Elemental to take the heat off of your tank anymore. This is kind of big, I assume. But to be fair, where this would be really good would probably be in very difficult content. I assume Mythic Plus keys, where taking the heat off the tank for a little bit would be ideal, but in those situations the Earth Elemental will die really quick anyway, so I'm assuming this will change the usage of Earth Elemental to take aggro off of your players and not off of your tank, which I guess it's cool. Yeah, it kind of takes away the save your tank a little bit, but it's probably better to save your players also. Astral Shift duration increased to 12 seconds. Ooh. Planes Traveler no longer increases the duration of Astral Shift. Natural Bulwark now reduces damage taken by an additional 20%, was 15%. Yeah, I guess. Shamans are tanky. Improved Lightning Bolt removed. Oh, okay. So this is 20% of Lightning Bolt damage that you lose from the 2-pointer talents. Yeah, Lightning Bolt has been baseline increased. Okay, that's good. It only makes the Shaman talent tree even cooler. Thunderstorm has been moved to improve Lightning Bolt position in the talent tree. Now just Lightning Bolts compensate for the talent being removed. It does that. So that basically frees up 22 talent points, which is crazy good. Go with the flow now reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walk by 10-20 seconds, up from 7.5 and 15. Yes, I mean, I love that. Obviously, with my preservation, I get to cast a bunch while moving, and this is really good for Restoration Shaman as well. Thunderous Pause can no longer trigger once every 20 seconds. Oh, can now trigger once every 20 seconds instead of 6 seconds. Buff. Poison Cleansing Totem now removes all poison effects from the target. Was only 1. Okay. Because we do have like a bunch of... Did it used to remove 1 stack or just 1 in total? I guess this is good. I mean, it makes sense. So it is not just like another Dispel. Enfeeblement now applies during Hex and lasts for 6 seconds after Hex ends. Okay, as Ancestral Wolf Affinity has been moved to the class tree and removed from all specialization trees. Cleanse, Spirit, and Totem can no longer cancel Go. Yeah, so you could cast those during Ghost Wolf, but this has been moved there, which was a weird thing because I don't know if anybody would actually spend the point for that. Focused Insight has moved to the Enhancement Elemental Tree Specialist Trees. Okay. Swirling Currents has been redesigned. Increases the healing done by Healing Stream Totem and Cloudburst Totem by 10 and 20%. While before, Healing Stream Totem increases the healing of your next turn heal surges. Okay. And we have some swap positions. Yes, Resto, finally, let's check out Restoration Shaman. Lightning Bolt damage has been increased by 35%. Chain Lightning damage increased by 35%. Wellspring Healing reduced by 30%. Okay, I cannot speak too much about this. I know Restoration is struggling with numbers. I don't know why. I assume there's some HPS breakdowns where they're taking away this and probably put it in somewhere else, I would assume. Water Shield has been removed from the talent tree and is now learned at level 12. Good. Resurgence has moved to Water Shield's position in the talent tree. I think that's what was making talent tree better, right? Talent tree, water shield. Your direct heat percentage of your maximum. Okay, and now you just have Resurgence, which is something that you kind of want because you want that mana. Okay, new talent, Current Control reduces the cooldown of Healing Tide Totem by 30 seconds. Healing Tide Totem is one of the biggest, fattest healing cooldowns that our shamans have right now, so that's good. And I assume it's here, right? Current Control, yeah, there you go. And Tide Turn is probably the other one. The lowest health target of Healing Tide Totem is healed by 30% more and receives 15% more healing from you for 4 seconds. That's good. I assume if they have Riptide on, that could be really good. A choice note has been added below Manatide Totem. And you have new talents, temporary name. Oh, we don't have a name for it. Increase the duration and radius of Manatide Totem. Okay, quality of life, I suppose. Spirit Walker Saddle Totem. After using Manatide Totem, the cast time of Healing Wave and Chain Healer is reduced, and the mana cost of Healing Wave and Chain Healer reduced for 10 seconds. We don't know by how much though, do we? Reduced by 50%. By 40% for 10 seconds. Yo, interesting. See, as a healer, maybe I can talk about this. As a healer, this is very weird because that means if you take Manatide Totem and let's say you want to take Spirit Walker's Saddle Totem because new talent, let's test it out, right? That means you really want to bank it, and you probably will want to use Manatide Totem at a time where you will want to cast a lot of chain heals or healing waves for the next couple of seconds. You really want to cast them because you probably don't want to like just burn mana and overheal because that doesn't make any sense. So seeing as we just finished progressing Terrace, which is a very intense healer fight, I can probably try to imagine a place where I would want to use this. So there's a lot of mechanics that require a lot of healing, right? So you would probably have to save Manatide Totem for those situations. So Manatide Totem no longer becomes, oh, I just want to use this as many times as I can in a fight, maybe 2, maybe 3 times to give the healer some mana back, right? Now this becomes, okay, I want to use it when I need to pump a lot of healing. So this is a little bit iffy because it kind of changes the value of Manatide Totem and when you will be using it. So this is very situational. Flow of the Tides now grants an additional bounce of chain heal in addition to its current effect. More chain heals, baby. Unleash Life now converts 40% of Wellspring's overhealing to an Absorb Shield. Was 25%. Did they change Unleash Life from what I remember it was? Unleash Element, healing a friendly target for, okay, and increasing the effect of your next healing spell. This usually just increase the raw amount of healing. But now, Riptide Healing Wave or Healing Surge do 35% more healing, Chain Heal, 15% healing, and bounces to one additional target, and Wellspring, 25% of overhealing done is converted to an Absorb. So now it's 40%, and I believe this is to combine with the nerf. This is, I mean, gaining Absorb is massive good as a healer, because obviously it's healing never wasted. Is this enough though? Alright, well I guess we'll see. Ever-Rising Tide has been removed. Overcharge your mana for 8 seconds, increasing your haste by 10% and healing done by 10%. Okay, so this is the BFA essence, right? If I recall correctly. The healer essence in BFA. I remember this, I play with this. Downpour has been moved to advertised position, nature focus removed. Okay, so they've removed a bunch of talents, moved a bunch of talents, moved. Okay. Well, overall, I think the changes for restoration are good. I am, as always, I'm on the fence with the things that have been moved around. Ever-Rising Tide, I assume it's been removed because nobody probably uses it. Plus, you have way more mana options with Mana Tide Totem. I don't know if halting your mana regen is an amazing thing for healers. I guess it's fine. New Dragon Riding, Glyphs in the Forbidden Reach. New Dragon Riding traits, Aerial Halt, Flap Back, reducing forward movement. Nice. Airborne Recovery, activating Aerial Halt while affected by thrill that generates. Ooh, okay. So this is pretty much everything related to changes for the classes in, at least in PvE. There's some PvP changes as well. Changes for the classes in 1007 PTR, and this is just the initial iteration. We have been informed that we're going to have more and more coming, so stay tuned because we will be looking at all of them eventually. Oh my god, so many changes in small patches. What a time to play World of Warcraft.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.